You just pulled up a bar stool to Bar Top Therapy, where truth gets poured straight, healing comes heavy, and the realest stories only come after the second shot. Let's talk about the shit nobody else will. This is another episode of Bar Top Therapy. Welcome back to another episode of Bar Top Therapy. Tonight is very special. I am with one of my bestest girls, Adrianne, and she is a whole damn force to be reckoned with. First of all, she's a salon owner, a small business guru, a social media queen, a home decor goddess, but above all else, she's a mom and a wife, right? But don't get it twisted. Behind those curated aesthetics and boss moves is a woman who has literally fought through hell and come back swinging. Adrianne Argumaniz is here to pour it all out.
You even got my name right. I love it. That's how you know we're actually friends.
Exactly. She is here to pour it all out with us. Her story, her survival, and her savage-ass glow-up.
Oh, my gosh. You've already going to have me crying. What the heck?
So grab your drink and pull up a stool, and let's just get into it. Cheers. So
and
what?
I had the perfect glasses.
She did. These are compliments of our home decor goddess. Mm-hmm. So we are sipping on a red wine spritzer, courtesy.
It's fabulous too.
It is courtesy of Lost Oak Winery.
So pretty in our glass.
It is in our glasses. Mm-hmm. So before we dive into this, Adrianne, give our listeners just a little intro. Who is Adrianne when no one is watching?
I feel like I'm a pretty what you see is what you get. I don't think that there's an Adrianne when you're not watching. I do think that there's an Adrianne that people think they know online versus me in real life, but I don't think I'm different.
I do.
On and off the camera.
I think you are different off the camera. I do, personally, because I've gotten to know you, and let me tell you, and I say this.
I mean, okay, I will say that there's probably things that I don't. When you're in my chair, for example, I do hair for a living. So when you're in my chair, I'm probably a little more.
No, the kind things that you do.
Oh.
You don't list those things. And let me just tell you how I became friends with Adrianne. And I say there was all the love in the world. I came to Adrianne with an issue that happened at her salon, which it has since been taken care of. And we absolutely love the other individual that was involved in this.
She won't care.
But I didn't think something was right with some extensions that I'd gotten, and I messaged Adrianne, and I said, I just want you to take a look. If I'm tripping, I'm tripping. Tell me to get fucked. And she was like, okay. So I meet her up at her salon, and she goes, oh, no, this isn't right, and I'm going to make this right.
And that is one thing about me. I'm going to tell you.
She made it right, and she said, you're not paying for this. This happened in my salon, and I'm going to make it right. And that right there not only spoke to me about the type of businesswoman you are, but that you genuinely care about people. You knew I had a photo shoot coming up for Inked Magazine. You knew that. And you're like, you're not about to go out there saying you got this done.
But even if you didn't, I would have done the same.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know all that when we first met.
Right. But it's those type of things. And then also, just the fact that you do so much for your community that you don't even talk about. Half of the Burleson community, they don't even understand what have you actually done for this community. You don't ever talk about it.
Yeah, no, they don't.
So that's what I'm saying. Do I think you're different off? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, you are.
But you know how that goes. People usually see what they want to see. And that's one thing, that's actually a motto that I've lived by. Everybody, when people love you, they will find every reason to love you. Mm-hmm. And when people do not like you, they will find every reason to like you. I could list off the 1,000,001 things I've done great. But my haters are always going to be my haters. And the people that love me don't even need to hear it.
Right.
You know, so.
Because somebody that doesn't like you, they're going to find that one little thing. Oh, well, did you hear what she said?
My eyelash could be glued on wrong.
And they're going to tell you, but they're going to screenshot it.
They probably don't even like my bow glasses now.
Did you see she had crystals on them, too?
Oh, how dare her. And no, I did not buy these at Albertsons.
I'm going to keep that one in. She did not, for those of you wondering, she did not
shop
get
at
these
Albertsons.
At Albertsons.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And if you don't know, go to her Facebook. Okay. You've got your hands in literally everything, Adrianne. You're a salon boss, a social media baddie, home decor queen. How the hell do you keep from losing your mind on the daily?
No, that's how I keep from losing my mind. I do better when I'm busy. Idle minds and idle hands get into trouble.
So that's why you engulf yourself in so much.
I don't even know I'm like that. You know, until like somebody tells me, or like my family, you know.
You're doing
my
too
poor
much.
Kids and my husband.
Well, I mean, how y'all are planning a wedding right now?
You know, but for me, I've always been this way. Even when I was young, I'd rearrange my bedroom 42 times a week.
Do you
I
have
did the
ADD?
laundry. You know, people say that, but I just don't think that. I think without being conceited.
Oh, conceited. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I have an engineered mind, and I think I have a high IQ, and I think that my brain is just constantly looking for its next
It's got to be moving.
project. Yes.
You know, your brain is a muscle, and
Because
yours
when
is
I
strong.
look at like ADD tendencies, I finish my projects.
I do
You know what
not.
I mean? Like, I don't have a problem finishing anything or staying organized or cleaning, and I'm not saying that everybody does. I don't really
Yeah.
know, and
But
that's
you
a whole
follow
nother
through.
topic. Yeah.
See, I start on 80 different things, and I might finish 20.
I would
of
probably
those
say I'm
80.
more OCD than ADD.
I got you.
Which I said that on TikTok once, and people lost their minds.
Oh,
How
gosh.
dare you insult the OCD? And I'm like, okay, well, so I don't
I'm
mean to
saying it
offend
about
anybody.
myself.
You know what I mean? Like, well, I'm saying, like they say that if I say that
Yeah.
about myself, I'm taking away from people who truly are. But how do you measure that? And
Well,
I do know, like, there are just like
extreme.
autism, right? There's
Exactly.
And we look at Elon Musk, who's known to be autistic, or is it autistic or
I think,
Asperger's? Or,
I think,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I just think when you're highly functional like that. So then when people get offended, I'm like, okay, well, what label would you? Like?
Yeah, what can I
And
label
we have
myself?
so many labels these days. Like, what would you like to label today?
Right. What am I allowed to say
Bitch
that
today,
I am?
OCD tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess I'm just a bitch asshole. No, I'm just playing. So,
I'm more like a bitch with ADD and OCD, I guess.
I guess so. Look, I'll be that if that's what makes you feel better.
I just do me. I do what makes me happy.
And that's what makes you happy. Staying busy, staying moving.
Yes.
So you don't go crazy. That's the reason you're not
Well,
crazy.
and because I get in trouble when I'm idle.
Yeah.
You know, that's when anxiety creeps in, or the negative self-talk or thoughts, and I think that's most people's problem.
Yeah.
I think that when people have too much, when they don't have hobbies and they don't have goals and they don't work and they don't have purpose,
They start
and
meddling.
we should really take all of these things that you're saying and really relabel it purpose.
Yeah.
So whether that's your chicken coop or your salon or your knitting or your kids or whatever it is, when you have purpose.
Because look, you curate some of the best events. Your daughter's beautiful bridal shower.
Oh, thank you.
My gosh. I know this wedding is going to be top notch, kick ass. Like, I cannot wait to see.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that about the wedding because I'm probably less in charge. You know, Tegan, I have 3 girls. I have really 3 biological girls, and then I have a stepdaughter and a stepson. So sometimes you'll hear me say 3 kids or 4 kids or 5 kids because it kind of depends on what I'm talking about. But I love them all, and they're all mine. And if you really knew, then you'd really know how much I do treat them all like my own. But anyway, Tegan, my oldest one getting married, is the least like me. She's very simple.
Oh, really?
Yes. She's actually, I think she's my sister's kid.
She looks
They
just
are the same.
like you.
Yeah, everybody says she's my
Holy
twin. But see, to
cow.
me, I think she looks just like her dad.
You think so?
Oh, yes. I think my brown-headed, if you look at my brown-headed.
Oh, she does too.
She's my twin, but everybody thinks Tegan is, which I don't think Tegan has any of my features. I think she looks just like her dad.
In some photos, she looks just like, I mean, I don't know what her dad looks like, but in some photos, I'm
But
like.
then everybody says Tatum looks just like me.
Oh, they all do.
Which this wedding is still going to be amazing because at the end of the day, you know, everything I do or what she allows me to do is going to be at a 10.
Of course.
And when I say allows me, you know what I mean? Because that's her wedding, and I really try to respect that.
Right, you're not trying to meddle too much, and meddle as long as
But
she'll
I'll be
let
curious, you know, actually thinking about this when Tinsley gets married or Tatum, I'll be curious to compare those two because
they'll let you be all in.
Yeah. Well, they're also at a 10.
Yeah.
Where Tegan's a little bit more
simple.
But it's her. It's who she's all American. She's classic. She's like a Kennedy. You know what I mean? That's what it's gonna to me.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, so, yeah.
Okay, well then let's get into our bar top confessions. That was just the warm up, y'all. Okay, so this is actually so we have different segments, and I do still explain I
went over these questions, but I told Brandy I didn't put a whole lot so we could actually
get into them.
Yes.
So there wasn't like a rapid fire.
I did not want this to be scripted. I didn't want it to be like I thought about it like this, and no, I don't like that.
Right. No, well, I appreciate that.
You need to speak from the heart. And
I will say, there are questions, you know, now that I'm learning how to do podcasts, you're supposed to send your questions to your guest, right? So if something's off limits, they can tell you. Nothing I sent her was off limits. So that should show you
that should tell you anything about me. Even on my social media, nothing's off limits.
I messaged her last night, and I was like, hey, are all those questions okay? She goes, nothing's off limits. I said, score.
Yeah. But even like my social media, and that's why, I mean, you either love me or hate me for that, because even on my social media, you know, I talk about the good and the bad, and sometimes people are offended, and some are like, oh, you shouldn't put that on there. Well, that's real life, and that's who I am as a person. I've made a lot of mistakes in my younger years, and I don't think anything's done in vain, which is I think where you and I
Yep.
connect a lot. There's always a lesson, and then you know help somebody realize that you know we all go through things that might look a little different, but how do you recover from that?
Right.
Or that you don't have to be perfect. And if anything, same thing like on, even though I might have like my daughter's bridal shower that's like top tier, I will also talk about my 5 marriages. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
That's what I love about you is that you are so open about it. And although you've got all these beautiful things, right? You've amassed a beautiful collection of life. You're still like, I've done fucked up shit.
a lot of it.
I have fucked up shit, and I've been in fucked up places. Like
A lot of it.
that's what I love so much
lot
about
of
you.
it.
You were unapologetically Adrianne.
And that's what people I think really misunderstand about me, because they think that I'm, especially if you follow me like later in life, but you don't know all the ways I've messed up.
Yeah.
Which I mean, not because I don't, I feel like I talk about it, but I mean, how many times can I talk about it? I can't talk about it every day.
Right.
You got to kind of,
You're gonna have to piece it together
yeah,
for
you're
yourself.
going to, but you know, you can ask me anything or
Right.
talk about anything.
So this, and going in, because this is still a new sort of podcast, so I still kind of explain, per episode a little bit of what we're doing. So I have different segments, if you will. So the beginning, we usually call it, what are we drinking on? We told everybody what we're drinking on. We're drinking on a red wine spritzer, and then bar top confession. So this is our bar top confession. The grit.
Let's hear it.
The nitty gritty.
Okay.
All right. You've been married, like you said. You've been married 5 times. You were very open about that. What do you think those chapters taught you most about you? Not about the world, but what do you
I'm
think?
a man eater.
She eats them up and spits them out. And only Dustin has survived.
Seriously. Okay, so one, I was raised by what I consider a very feminist mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, my parents were divorced when I was 18 months old or so. So I never knew them together. And I'm telling you right now, and I think a lot of divorced kids would say this, but like how they ever got together blows my ever-loving mind, because they are not the same. Which it's so weird, because my dad, he lived in Vegas most of my life. He was from Mississippi, lived in Vegas. He lived here until I was like 5, moved to Vegas and back to Mississippi. Okay, and I actually went to live with him for a hot minute when I was like 14, 15, because I was a hot mess.
In Vegas.
In Vegas,
Oh,
and
God,
then to
we're going to
Mississippi.
talk about that.
Yeah, so I've lived both of those places. But I'm telling you this because as I'm older, I'm so much more like him, even though I wasn't raised in that house. It's actually weird. It just it tells me how much is like genetically whatever. But my mother, which kudos to her. I mean, my mom was a boss. She was an executive for TXU and didn't have a college education, worked her way up. And I think that's what she wanted, right? She wanted to teach me that I didn't need to rely on a man, and to always be able to provide for myself, take care of myself, and take care of my responsibilities. And I value that. I mean, that is 90% of who I am as a businesswoman.
You did it to survive,
but not as a wife.
Right.
But I applied that also to a wife. So what happened, which part of it too, I don't think my mom, I've never really said this out loud. I don't know how much my mom wanted to be a mom. She's never said that.
Right.
But just in my core, like...
she wasn't nurtured by nature.
She was not a nurture by nature person. Yeah. And so I think me being married at 19, I think part of that was, I think she... And I mean this in the most loving way, but... Because I don't want to ever insult my mom.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But we're being honest, so this is my honest opinion. I think she was ready to marry me off.
Because
I wasn't her problem anymore. Because she actually told me one time I was a hard kid. And that's one thing I've had to struggle with over the years, because hard kid, what does that mean? Like, I didn't do meth, I didn't steal, I didn't go to jail, I was hard because I was smart.
And your personality
and
was
I was
so
rebellious
strong.
because I was smart. Those idle hands, those idle mind, that type of thing. So I just don't think she knew what to do with me. Where had I been in more extracurricular activities, had I been in more intellectually stimulating environments, which is what I turned around and did with my kids. So that's, I think, how I got married at 19. I married a friend of mine that I actually dated a guy all through high school that was a loser.
I have one of those too. Two of them.
And, and of course, as women, we all, and that's where I think we get it really, really wrong. And I could get on, we could have a whole soapbox podcast about this, but I feel like we're taught that, the Cinderella, the Ariel, the Snow White, just wrap it up in a pretty little bow. We're going to get married and stay married forever, but we're not really taught how to do that.
Right.
And that this prince is just going to, this handsome prince is just going to swoop us off our feet, and it's just going to be wrapped up in this, pretty little bow. Obviously, that is not
how it
happen.
goes. Yeah.
So it wasn't good, and so then I ended up marrying my high school best friend, who was such a gentleman, such a God-fearing. His family was so great, and so I thought that's what I needed to do. And in 6 months, I'm like, I love you, and we are best friends.
But not in this way.
Yeah, no.
Well,
so then what happens? What do?
You get a divorce.
You swing from one pendulum to the other.
Yeah.
You go find somebody that's everything they're not.
Right.
Because you don't even know who you are at 19.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Even though I thought I did.
Oh, you thought you were. Look,
because
I'd had 2 kids by the time I was 19. So I get it.
I was working on my first one at 21. So that's when I met my oldest kid's dad. We were never married, but we were together 5 years, 2 kids, a business. So
that's married.
I call him that, yes. We had 2 kids 13 months apart.
Yeah.
I was 21, 22. Then we went sideways, which I say sideways. We were actually best friends for another 15 years after we split.
Okay.
That's one thing.
And then y'all co-parented for all those years.
Yep. He actually lived with me a couple times while I was married to my other husband. But we were just, he didn't have his life together, and I wanted my kids to have a dad. I wanted to live under a bridge, and
you did what was right for your kids.
And people used to think I was so crazy, but I'm like, you know what? If he had cancer, you wouldn't even be questioning me. But because he's not mentally stable, you think I got called running a brothel. I got called a swinger. I got called all kinds of stuff.
All because you were trying to make sure that father your children was safe. Isn't that wild?
Wild, especially in this town.
And your heart was in the right place, and other people.
Yeah.
That's just wild to me.
But that's the other part of what you were saying earlier. Just because I don't go tell you why I'm doing or what I'm doing, I'm not insulting him, doesn't mean.
Yeah, because I'm not over here talking shit
that's what people do.
About why he's here. Now y'all have got to talk shit about me because you don't understand it. That's wild.
Right.
That is
just
wild.
But I just let him.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's, I had Journey when I was 15. Well, I got pregnant with Journey when I was 15 and had her when I was 16, and then got pregnant again at 17 and had her. So by the time I graduated high school, I'd already had 2 kids and I was married. And I hope their dad is listening. He is a loser. And so, I literally got my first child support payment in 21 years 6 weeks ago. I got my first one. I got my first one 6 weeks ago.
But I think that was part of my problem. Instead of taking him to court and doing what I was supposed to do, what did I do? I go work 3 jobs.
Yep.
I go do what I need to do. And I think that it's funny we're talking about this because I was actually telling Tegan yesterday, like, I'm on the back end now where my kids are grown. And I'm now on this, like, healing journey. And I look back and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, how the hell did I just make it through the last 20 years? Absolutely.
Yeah.
When that first child support payment hit 6 weeks ago, I was like, why do I have extra money in this account?
And
what in the world?
I didn't have time to worry about what anybody, and that's the other thing, and I think that's why I've worked so well, because I didn't have time to worry about what people were saying about me. Don't get me wrong, I've called them out and I've addressed it from time to time, but for the most part,
you just didn't care. Like, that's what I was.
Handled my business, built my businesses, built my empire, built this beautiful property, like, did what I need to do, put my kids through school, paid for cars. And
just kept moving with your life, and that's what I did with my girls.
Now that they're all graduated and out of college and all this, I'm like,
what am I supposed to do with my hands? Like, where do my hands go?
Let them get away with all of this, and like,
yeah.
But if I would have, and that's what
because you were protecting your peace at that moment, and that's why I never fought their dad. I filed on him through a divorce, but I never fought him because in my mind, if you don't want to be active participant, that's on you. You've got to explain your actions. I don't give a shit. I got kids to take care of.
I really have lived by. You're gonna have to deal with the Lord with that.
Yep.
And God spoke to me many, many times, and He kept telling me, Adrianne, you don't need to worry about child support or this or what anybody else is doing. Look what I'm providing you. Look what I'm providing you. And I'm providing you tenfold what you'd get in court. So I don't know. Right. God always led me to know that He would take care of me.
Yeah.
And that's just, but after I left, so Jimmy was my first husband, then Elvis. Yes.
I love that. Elvis. I love that. Yeah.
I had Elvis's baby.
Travis is over in the corner laughing. His name is Elvis. I love that.
I left Elvis and went back to Jimmy. Realized why I divorced Jimmy the first time, left Jimmy again. Mm-hmm. In fact, Jimmy is James, right? Started dating a James when I met Tatum's dad, also James.
Oh, gosh. You were just entangled with Jimmy's and Elvis's and James's.
If your name is James, do not call me.
Yeah. Don't be calling her. And then
then I met Wes. None of them go by James. So, then I met Wes, Tatum's dad. And he was everything. Same thing. Now I've swung from this pendulum back to the other way. He was, Elvis and I, that's what's so funny because we're very cross now. But we were best friends for 15 years. Elvis and I got along. We had, like, to me, the most fun when we were together. He just, that's a whole nother story, but we didn't get divorced because we didn't like each other. Actually, we liked each other a whole lot. He just mentally was not where I needed him to be to raise kids and do business and those types of things. He was just very, very, very irresponsible. Which, hello, we were 22,
right?
You know? But then I meet Wes, who's 10 years older than me, manager of Home Depot, like, has his life. You want to talk about wrapped up in a pretty little box with a pretty little bow. I don't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about OCD? He's the kind that will change the locks 3 times. I mean, check the lock 3 times.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, for real. But I'm just saying he's so set your watch by him. Which...
That's him. I am so fly off the handle. I am literally the most spontaneous. I'm like, you want to go to Vegas this weekend?
Oh, that's me.
Like, oh, yeah. I'm like, let's go. And he's like, no, we have to plan this out. And did we do? Oh, my God. I'm like, shut up and get on the plane.
Yeah, no, 100%. Except now I'm married to me. Dustin and I are like the polar opposites and also the same. It's actually so wild. Anyway, Wes was a little too, it was too much.
Too over the top.
And I'm going to tell you, Wes should have been born in 1800. You know, he's the hunting, live off the land, nature. And I will tell y'all right now, he is the absolute best ex-husband by far. I tell him he should be married 10 more times, and he has never been married again. And ladies, y'all should go look him up.
This episode of Bar Top Therapy is brought to you by Fireworks Universe in Alvarado, Texas. Located at the Venus Food Mart and proudly family owned and operated by the Tyler family since 2019. They're open from June 24th to July 4th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And let me tell you, they don't play games with their pricing. No gimmicks, no buy one, get one tricks, just fair, low prices from the start. Kenny Tyler personally tests every single firework that he sells, because if he wouldn't light it, he ain't gonna stock it. They've also given back big time, donating time and fireworks to the Miracle League of Waxahachie, helping raise over $20,000 for special needs youth. That's heart and hustle. And if you're looking for something you cannot find anywhere else, just ask them for the Shut Up Karen firework. Yeah, it's real, and it's only available at the Fireworks Universe in Alvarado. So pull up, light up, and support local this 4th of July. And we're back.
No, so Wes, I always tell him, like, he should be married 10 more times because he makes the most fabulous ex-husband. Like, we've co-parented. Our daughter is probably healthier than most kids married, like their parents married for 40 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he taught her everything, hunting and guns and living off the land and saving her money, and I am nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm how to spend your money. I hope there's not an apocalypse, and where's the nearest mall?
Right. And where is Dustin to make me some hibachi?
And then, you know, when I met Dustin, it was funny because I told Dustin when I very first met him, I said, don't even ask me to marry you. I have a bad picker. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not even going to get married for 5 years.
Yeah.
Year and a half later, we're engaged and getting married. So there's that. But we've been married. I mean, we've been together 12 years. So that's longer than all my husbands combined. So
long. He has made it through.
I don't know what it would take. I mean, I will say it's harder when you've been married that many times. It's harder to stay married.
Right, because you know it's easy. You know you'll be okay when you leave. Yes.
Most people, I have a 5% rule. I think 5% of people are really, truly happy and in love. I think 50% of people stay married for money. I think another solid 30% stay married for kids and or money. And so then you got another 10% that are just like complacent.
Yeah, and they're for convenience. They don't want to change. They don't like change.
I think there's like 5% of people that are like in love.
Yeah.
So I just said I need 5 years. I don't think one, I was still coming off on like, how did I get here? What had I gone through? I don't want to continue down this path. So I really needed to
reevaluate your life.
That's where I realized as the feminist, I was taught to, when I said I was a man eater, I was joking.
Right.
All of these men are great men. I mean, there was a reason that I loved them and had
Sure.
kids with them and a life with them. But I picked weaker men, and that's just and I don't mean to disrespect. You know, we were 20 back then.
No, I get completely where you're coming from.
You know, they could be nothing like this anymore. But and Wes was probably not a weak person, but that's why I'm saying, like, I thought I wore the pants in the relationship. I did not have where now, which is funny because even Dustin was not what I think he's a protector, provider by nature. But
it comes so naturally to him.
It comes so natural. But he was in such a terrible marriage. He was not able to lead that way. And me healing from what I went through, I was able to come in and tell him, you need to be the leader. And I was able to empower him that way. And now it's like,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
crazy.
that you let him take care of you.
But I couldn't have done that in my 20s. I didn't recognize that.
I completely
didn't know
understand.
That. I didn't have a biblical
sense of what it meant to lead a home. Like for me, I was always, because I was so out of control. I never had control over my childhood. I had a horrible childhood. I was raised by dopers. It was horrible. Anyway, so because I was so out of control growing up, whenever I was able to control, I over controlled everything. I had to micromanage everything. I could not allow a man to lead me because I was too scared.
Same.
Too scared. You're not going to lead me right.
Not from the same reason.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of weird about me. My parents, you know, I was raised very country club.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because Dustin's family is.
I was raised very Cleburne.
So was Dustin's family.
Yeah. Well, and I know,
yes.
And so I was raised very opposite of that. We were not fortunate. I mean, so for me, that's where, and through whenever I divorced my recent husband, I learned, oh my God, I have got to figure out how to let go. Mm-hmm. And know that it's okay that I don't have control of everything. That was what's been the hardest for me.
Well, let me tell you, that's what's crazy too, because when I look at Dustin was a mess. When I met him, I cannot believe it. Just had to be a God thing. Which, if you ever heard the story of our property and how we came here and everything else, like we are definitely, it was meant to be. You know what I mean? But I still am like, who would I have picked who would I have picked Dustin over again if I was who I am right now, and who he was then. Now. Oh my gosh, my husband's a totally different person.
Well, and he was able to grow, and he was able to heal.
It's amazing when you do have to, and I say healed, I don't think you're ever healed.
No, you're always healing.
I think you're always a work in progress.
Always. You know, I tell Travis all the time, had I met you 10 years ago, this would not have worked.
Right.
I would have not been able to receive you in a healthy way because he's so mild-mannered and he's so chill and so calm, and I'm... You know, I'm so hyper and loud and excited all the time.
But is Travis volcano?
No.
Never?
No. He has yet to ever raise his voice at me.
Oh my gosh,
he is yet to. He does not scream. He lets me. I'm like, let me tell you. He's like, I'm going to need you to stop that.
See,
and I'm like,
that's one thing like Dustin. I'm the yeller, which is weird because in a fight, I'm not. In fact, it's the opposite. If I'm yelling and screaming, you don't need to worry.
Oh, girl, no, I'm yelling.
But when I'm quiet...
That's when you need to worry. Oh, girl, no. Look, I'm telling.
You're done with me.
I wish I could be like that. I strive. I'm working so hard to be that because I think that that's when you come to your ultimate goal of peace, whenever you're able to not scream and holler.
Well, I think I learned when I was with my kids, I was a yeller.
I'm still a yeller at my kids. But with Travis, I tell him all the time, had I met you 10 years ago, I would have saw him as weak because he doesn't handle me rough, because he's not.
Oh, I forgot a husband in there because I was married to Brett, the Canadian.
She said, I forgot it. The Canadian, is that what you said?
Yeah, he was between Wes and Dustin.
She said, I forgot one.
But he's the one that taught me. So Elvis and I fought volatilely. And I say volatile, you know, I'll be honest, I've never been in a relationship really where there was like physical.
Yeah.
Like that, just more screaming and yelling and saying things you don't mean, things you can't take back.
Yeah.
That just chip away at your relationship.
Be grateful because it changes your brain chemistry. Physical violence in an intimate relationship literally changes your brain chemistry.
I thank God I would have never put up with that.
Yeah.
You know? But Brett, he was a gem. Like, he was truly probably one of the best people I've ever been married to.
And he was a Canadian.
And I will never forget one time we had a big fight and I'm yelling and screaming and he just came out of my closet. Do not talk to me like that.
He's looking at me because he's told me that too.
You're not going to talk to me like that.
And did it stop you?
If you talk to me like that again, I will leave. And I mean as calm and collect. And I was like,
Did it stop you in your tracks?
oh, yeah. Never did it again.
See, I've got to get
And
there.
from that moment, that's who I've been with Dustin.
Yeah.
You know, Dustin and Christy were very volatile.
Yeah.
You know, so when Dustin and I get together and Dustin is very, very, very chill until he's not.
Yeah.
We call it his volcano. And we've learned over the years that was because he never felt heard.
Yeah.
So he thinks he has to volcano to get my attention. And I'm like, nobody, when somebody loves you, I'm listening all the time. I care how you feel even if you're speaking at a 1. And so it's taken him some time to trust that when he tells me, I don't like that I'm going to go like, oh my gosh, okay, let me fix that for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to turn over the fire pit.
To let you know I'm pissed.
Right.
I'm pissed. You know, I do. Well, wait a minute. If that's what you mean by volcano, then yes, that is Travis. That is Travis.
Travis will turn over the fire pit?
He won't do anything like that. He'll just start saying shitty little comments. And I'm like,
oh, he's passive aggressive.
oh. I'm
Travis.
like, what'd you just say, homeboy? Because I fight. I hit people. What'd you just say?
Dustin is very passive aggressive.
And he's
but
like,
Dustin will also turn over the fire pit. Not anymore. Not anymore. The first 5 years, that was tough.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I would never put up with that. So how I put up with that, I don't know.
Because you saw potential.
Yeah. The one thing about Dustin, the reason we were married, and I will tell you right now the reason we were married. There's one reason we were married. I do not have to repeat myself. When I tell him I don't like something, or I want something, or I need something, or that scares me, or that it's done.
You never have to worry about it
Never
again.
have to repeat myself.
That's beautiful.
He might have had some toxic traits, but he fixed those
immediately.
real quick. You know, he went to counseling and did everything he needed to do he did the work.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. In my other marriages, I'd like give him a little card and say, okay, we're going to have counseling this week if you want to come and work on our marriage. And they never would show up.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to tell Dustin. He went and found a counselor, went to counseling, did the work.
He did the work on his own.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be better.
Yeah.
My ex-husband, I begged him. I was like, do you want to do counseling? No, because we're just going to go and they're going to tell me it's all my fault. And I'm like, you don't know that. It might be my fault. But he knew he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So he knew they were going to tell him it was his fault. Sir, you shouldn't stab your wife in the face. That's not nice. You know, I mean, sir, you shouldn't punch your wife in the eyeball. That's probably pretty detrimental,
Yeah,
you know.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
Why would he want to go to counseling? But anyways, so no, I love that he, okay, I want to be a better man, and not just a better husband, but he had to have saw that made him a better person, all around rounded better person.
He'd tell you that too.
What is something that you used to believe about love that you know that you had to unlearn? Like for me, my mom used to tell us, and I now know that this is completely wrong, but my poor mother that she's a whole podcast in herself, 2 or 3 probably. But she used to tell us, because my stepdad and her were very, I mean, when you have drugs and alcohol involved as heavily as it was back then, I mean, you can only imagine. And I used to tell my mom, why do you stay? He is so hateful and hurtful and just ugly. Like, why do you stay? And my mom used to say, if he didn't love me, he wouldn't do these things. I said, what? She goes, if he didn't love me, he wouldn't argue with me and fight with me. Because when he stops arguing and fighting with me, that means he doesn't love me.
That's actually true.
But my mother truly believed that.
But that is actually true.
But I think to myself,
it's absolutely unhealthy and toxic.
It's absolutely unhealthy and toxic. And then I thought to myself, that's true.
And this is why I don't have problems in my exes. Because when I left, because what do we know about hurt? What do we know about anger? Anger is a secondary emotion of hurt, right? So when you're hurt, you still care for someone.
Right.
So she's not wrong about that. However, toxic
behavior. Toxic behavior. I'm like, but Mom, I think it's because y'all did an 8-ball last night. I think that's
of love is like,
I think y'all fighting because you did his 8-ball last night. I think that's what the problem is.
I think for me, it's that whole thing about love is just like this feeling for somebody that, you know, like if you're together, you must love them and that's enough.
Yeah. And it's not.
No.
And it's not necessarily what can you buy me, what can you give me. It's what can you feed my soul. That's what I've learned.
Are you a better person when you're together?
Yeah.
Are y'all growing together?
Absolutely.
And really, at the end of the day, you really need to have God in the center of it. And that's what, when I started living a more biblical marriage, and let me tell y'all something, okay? When Dustin and I went to counseling with our pastor, because I told y'all, like, even though I was raised by a feminine, and I am a lot more submissive now, and I do like my husband to be the leader, provider, protector, let's just be real that I am still a very outspoken.
Sure.
My husband pretty much does whatever I want. I actually have to work harder at listening when he's like, I really don't. He wouldn't care if I bought a pink couch. But if he said, Adrianne, I really don't want a pink couch, I'd have to take a step back and be like, because I could bulldoze and buy the pink couch. That's just who I am as a person. So I have to go, whoa. He asked me not to buy the pink couch. So I should probably respect that.
Yeah.
You know, I always, if I need a new fridge, I went and bought a new fridge. And now I'm having to go, hey, babe, do you think we should buy a new fridge? I've never asked permission for anything. Right. So I'm having to do that.
But you're only doing it because you value him and you want him to feel seen.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's changed him going, oh, she cares about my feelings.
She sees me.
Yes. But, I was going to tell you what my pastor said. So we're in counseling, and he said, well, you know, who's going to discipline the kids and who's going to handle the money? And I handle the money. Okay. So, which is funny because now we are actually almost shifting on that too. But I said, you know, I asked him, I said, well, how does that work?
Yeah.
Because when you are the strong woman, am I being too, you know, am I not letting him, you know, should he be doing, because, you know, in our traditional mind, we think he should pay the bills and mow the yard. So should I not mow the yard? Should I not take out the trash? No. You know, Pastor Rick said, Adrianne, a good leader sometimes delegates.
Oh, I like that.
So when your good leader knows that that's your strong suit, but y'all need to talk about that. And that's what really showed me that, like,
yeah,
there's still things I may lead, you know, that I may handle, but it's because Dustin knows that I'm good.
You're good. You can do that.
But we still talk about it. I don't make those decisions without him anymore.
So y'all do. The difference. Was communication ever a difficult issue in your relationship ever? Like,
never for me.
I'm an over communicator.
Hello.
I over communicate.
Same.
But for Dustin, was it hard for him to get those words out?
Yeah.
Because that's what Travis and I were just talking about last week. I hope you don't mind me talking about this Travi Dookie head. My kids call him Travi Poo Poo head. Anyway. But I am an over communicator. Like, I let him know, I don't like this, I don't like that. The sky is blue. Did you know the grass was green? And he's just like, yep. Mm-hmm. And like, he won't say, you know what I'm like? Do you like that? Nope. Well, why don't you? Because. I mean, and that's just what it is. And I'm like, say something. Not like
Dustin talks too much.
Okay.
Dustin doesn't have a problem talking, which is funny because when you meet him at first, you think he's shy.
Yeah.
But he's not, especially not with me, right? Dustin had a harder time talking about his feelings.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
His feelings mattered for a long time. But you have to remember, he went to counseling that first 2 years of our relationship, and Brian would get this big whiteboard and put 500 words. And so if he would get stuck, Dustin would have to go to the whiteboard and circle how he felt. Like, so he could learn, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm mad.
To say it.
Yeah. And now he doesn't have.
Travis, you put Travis in a bar setting with a cold beer in his hand and he'll talk your ear off. But whenever you try to dig deep into who Travis is, it doesn't happen. Yeah. It just won't happen.
I think Dustin would probably have been more like that had we not done counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Travis?
Chavi?
Counseling internship.
Yeah.
Travis is like, why'd you sign Adrianne?
Yeah. Why did you put her in? What was your personal walk in the freezer moment? Like, what was when you just literally had to walk in somewhere for 5 seconds and realize, how the fuck am I going to pull through this?
I've thought, when I saw these, I've thought about this. I don't have that.
So for me, and we're not talking about me, we're talking about you, but for me, mine was whenever my ex-husband was on Grindr, which is a gay dating app. Oh, yes, he was. And he knew exactly what it was for because he was using it appropriately.
Maybe we need to go to counseling.
And, listen. And so when I saw that
Travis,
on his phone.
I'm sending her with you.
And I confronted him about it. And all he said was, now that you know my secrets, how are you going to handle them?
I don't have any.
That was my walk-in freezer moment.
It's stuff like this when I think about like all the things I've gone through. And I've gone through some stuff, don't get me wrong. But nothing that's scandalous.
Yeah. Can you hear her? Okay.
I don't know what. Oh, am I leaning back?
No, it's okay. No,
I had a mind-blowing moment.
No.
I had to,
yeah, oh no,
I had
girl.
to like take that in for a minute.
He was absolutely 100%. And I'm going to make sure this, because I don't give a shit.
I mean, I will say, okay, so see you telling me that, now mine is nothing like that. But when I was married to Wet, you know, as I'm going through each of these marriages and I'm realizing I'm still not getting it right.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's how I ended up with this property. But he and I actually looked at this property to buy together, and I didn't like it at the time because it set back. It was all overgrown. I didn't want my kids riding their bikes over here and all this
Sure.
stuff, right? So we went and bought these 2 acres across town. And Robert, the builder, and I were standing on the property, and we were looking at blueprints, and I said, Robert, I'm not going to build this house. And he's like, what? And I said, yeah, I'm going to get a divorce. I said, I'm trying to build a house with a man, because that's what we do, right? As women,
Right.
we have babies with
You
them.
homestead.
We have babies and we build houses, and that's going to fix our marriage.
Right. Because you're setting up shop.
You know who bought the 2 acres?
Who?
Dustin.
No.
We don't know each other.
No,
This
stop
is what I was
it.
telling. True story. He never built, gets a divorce. 12 years later.
He still has the 2 acres.
No.
Oh,
They get a divorce. He sells it. They never build.
So
They get a
nobody ever built
divorce.
on the property.
I mean, I'm sure somebody did now, but
Yeah.
we don't know each other at the time. We don't know this until 12 years later. I put a post on and said, I'm looking for land. My real estate agent said, don't forget Robert has that 4 acres. I come out here, and the first time when I saw this 4 acres, it sits back. You'd have to see where my house is, but it sits back. And I was like, if I'm going to spend that money, I want to be front and center. I mean, you know me, I'm here. And after living in Mountain Valley, where there's 42 million kids and 82,000 cars on the street, I come back 12 years later, and me and Dustin now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it here. Which you can see now, we live here.
It
And
sits
it was
way
through
back.
building this that we realized we had both owned, because Robert built this, had this too. So it wasn't until, this property sat here for 12 years. These neighbors tried to buy it. These neighbors tried to buy it. These neighbors, nobody ever bought. So it sat here for 12 years and waited for Dustin.
It was divine.
Yes,
The good Lord was like, nope.
I have a lot of stories of
This
Dustin
is
and I like that. It's
this is
really
supposed to be
weird.
Adrianne Argumaniz acres over here. Let me go ahead and put this little nugget back off.
But I had to grow as a person to get here.
To
This
appreciate
same
this.
land 12 years ago
Wasn't good enough.
unacceptable. Yeah.
Right.
Dustin
Wow.
would have been not good
So
enough.
you literally walked on a piece of property and said, never mind, I'm going to get a divorce.
So
Wow.
there's my freezer moment.
That's your freezer moment. Wow.
Not near as shocking and
No,
toxic.
but that's kind of like what. Yeah, no, mine was girl. I got some juicy.
Yeah, you
juiciness.
do. You give me a run for
girl.
my money.
No, just because you said, look, I love the saying, I love red flags because I love carnivals. I run right to them. Red flag. There was something about tattoos and felonies
I
that
might have
fed
been the
my
red
daddy
flag.
issues or something. It's tattoos and felonies. Oh, carnivals, tattoos, and felonies feeds my daddy issues. No, I'm just playing. Okay. So shifting gears. Did you always want to do hair? Did you know
No.
you were going to be in hair?
No. I went to college for elementary education.
For what?
I was gonna be a
Elementary?
teacher. Can you imagine me as
No.
a teacher?
Yes.
No.
Not with little kids.
I would be fired.
Oh, yeah. I don't like little kids.
Well, and I would be like, I don't know, Sue, why is little Johnny, failing his test? Sue, do you work with him at home? Do you whip his butt? Like,
Yeah. Why is your kid
I
a
would
jackass?
be, first of all, this is why I do hair, because I would be a HR nightmare. Let's just be real.
Yeah, no. I get it. Look, I don't know how I
I thought
lasted
I
so
wanted
long in
10
the corporate
kids.
world.
Had I been married to the right person, it doesn't, we probably would have 10 kids. I loved kids, so I thought I really should have been a lawyer or a detective.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Hence
what I
the
should.
reason I
can
was a
debate
paralegal.
like nobody's business. You cannot
Yep.
outsmart me, which is why a lot of people don't like me. But I'm a hairdresser.
So that's
And in
not.
fact, I did insurance when I had my girls.
So how'd you fall into hair? Because you're
Because
you're a fucking blonde
I
rock
was actually
star.
number
Let's
3 in the state for nationwide doing commercial insurance.
Wow.
But I had these babies that are days old. In fact, I was on Tatum, 2 weeks old, taking my 2-week-old to my office, and I call my mom crying because I'm like, oh, I can't sleep. And back then, they didn't support commercial agents like they do now. So I had a bunch of contractors at the DFW airport where OSHA would come in at 2 o'clock in the morning, want to do something, and they didn't have their cert and calling me, and I'm been up all night, and I was literally crying. And she's like, Adrianne, why don't you go back to do hair? And I said, I'm not going to be some hairdresser.
Yeah.
I work at like some Supercuts, making $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, none taken.
Well, to the Supercuts.
Oh yeah, no offense to Supercuts girls. Look,
Hey, in fact,
That's
I've
where-
hired several of those girls now over the years and trained them up. So just know you're never stuck there.
no, and that's where Travis goes
But
and
I'm
gets his
also proud
haircut.
of you for having a job and going out there.
Yeah, because
but-
I know your clients got to be hell on wheels.
See, this is
'cause-
where sometimes I say things, but I don't ever mean to anybody that's working hard and doing what they
Yeah.
love. And we need
But that
all
just wasn't
walks
what
of
you
life.
saw for yourself.
Right. So that was on a Saturday, and by Monday morning I was enrolled in school.
Wow. So you just did it off a
Because that's
whim.
how I do everything.
On a whim.
I don't ever have a plan.
Just do it,
Just
and
like
we'll
when
figure
I
it out
owned
as
the
we go.
salon, and I'm doing hair, and Jill comes over and says, "You want to own a salon?" I said, "No." That was at
Yeah.
4 o'clock on a Wednesday, and by 9 o'clock on
Yeah.
Thursday, I owned a salon.
Yeah.
That's a true story, too.
That's so this was not what you set out. It just
No.
happened. You literally just flew to Vegas and said, "Let's be a hairstylist on the weekend." No, I'm just
Yeah.
like- no, but seriously though, look, I get it because I get it.
My mom said I always should have done it.
Well, you're really good at it. But here, your brain works in a different way. Like whenever you're in the
Yeah, I'm
salon,
a math and science person. I'm not actually, believe it or not, I'm not a creative person. I'm a
you're
math
over
and
there
science.
spitting out. I remember whenever you had that one cute girl that worked for you for a little bit, you would go, "I want blah, 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 blah." And she's like, "Say that again," because you would just, you know what I mean? Like you would just spit it out so quick, and you were like, "I need this and this. You know why I need this and this?" She's like, "No," but you would take the time to explain to her.
But you know what? I'm
This
going to be
is
honest
why.
with y'all. I don't think I'm success. I work very differently than most stylists, so that's what people I think are also bamboozled about me.
Yeah.
They think I'm just this hairstylist, and how do I have what
No,
I
you're
have?
not.
They, I've been accused of sleeping my way to this or that, or
Oh,
no, I've
gosh.
earned everything I have. But I work like 5 people at a time. Brandy's seen it. She'll
Yeah,
tell you. But
literally. She's got me coloring, somebody washing, blow drying over
I had
here.
2
and
assistants.
yeah.
It's a zoo in my salon. But you know why it's like that? It's not even my skill. I mean, I think I'm a good hairstylist.
No,
Don't
it's
get
your
me wrong,
skill.
but that's not why I grew what I grew. I grew what I grew because I was honest with people.
Yes. Very honest. Yes.
Because I use the best of the best products. I don't skimp. I don't take any shortcuts. I do whatever it takes. I don't book people based on time. Be prepared to be at my salon for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm successful.
And yeah, well, honesty goes a long way because you go to some of these.
Integrity is everything.
You go to some. Well, before I started going to you, you'd go to some of these hairstylists. You would call and get, "Hey, I know that this is not a set rate, but do you have? You're just trying to see, especially when you're struggling.
And that's
mom.
the thing. I don't charge them for every little thing.
Yeah.
Because to me, it matters more that they walk out with quality with my name on it than.
Right. And I had this one girl say, "Well, I used 12 foils, so I charged." And I was like, "What does that even mean?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I walked in because I was.
Yeah, y'all don't know.
I have no idea what
You
this
have
means.
to lean on us.
And I had called
And
her.
there is nothing worse. It boggles my brain that these girls go in thinking they're going to get some highlights and they walk out $800 later.
Well, that's kind of what happened. I called just to kind of get a roundabout because I was a single mom. I just wanted to do something nice for myself. And she was like, "Oh, it's $120 for a partial highlight and a cut." I walk out spending $310, and I'm like, "But what did I get? Like, I don't understand what more that I
Whatever
did."
you see as my price,
And
is my
that's always your price, and I always pay the same thing.
And
which-
even if I got to do a little extra,
yeah,
that's what I do. I don't ever skimp. But that's why, and I'm gonna say this too, because I mean this in the most humble way possible. But a lot of people want what I have, and they think that they can have what I have, but you got to have it in your soul.
yeah, you have to want it.
The integrity is more than the clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get the clients from the integrity. And that's what I train up my assistants. Stay a little later. Take the long route. Go above and beyond. Yes, I mean, in your time right now, it costs you nothing. I mean, is your time valuable? Yes, but you don't have clients. You have nothing but time.
You have nothing but
Give
time
it
to
those
dedicate.
people, build, and you will never be hungry.
Because when those people see that you love them, and even you may not love them, but you love yourself enough to put out a good product, and that's what's going to count.
That's what my clients love about me.
Yes. And then
Am I talking too much?
no,
Okay.
no.
Because
So
we could have like probably part 2 and 3 of this.
oh no, look, we can absolutely. The longer the podcast, know that we have no time frame.
Okay.
So let's talk grow up. What was the moment you realized I am done surviving and I have to start living? Well, I guess it would be whenever you decided to do hair. You were done.
No, I would say now.
Right now
Yeah.
is the time.
I'm having my best glow up right now.
You're done surviving. You're
I've
now
been
living
surviving for 25 years, 100%. Didn't even know it.
until you realize you were out of survival mode. That's
now
how I feel.
I'm 46, and because I will say one good thing is I had my kids so young
Mm-hmm.
that now my youngest is 20. She's going to be on her last year of college, which she is graduating in 3 instead of 4 because she's also a prodigy. Seriously, I mean,
No,
Tatum
she is out there kicking
Tatum
ass.
is wicked smart. She's going to be the lawyer I never was. But so my oldest is getting, graduated A&M, getting married off my payroll. My middle one just graduated with a BSN off my payroll, out of the house. my baby, Dustin's oldest is our oldest. She's been out of the house for a while.
Yeah.
Landon, of course, is our special needs son. He's 24.
He'll always be your baby.
He'll always live here with us. But that's a totally
That's a
different
totally
ballgame.
different. Yeah.
So my youngest, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, I had to deal with, and I think that's exactly where we'll have to have we'll have to reconvene in a year when I could really
speak on this glow up right now.
Because I will also tell y'all that the last 4 years of my life have been insane. Like, I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life, and maybe even these weren't like the worst things, probably pretty bad, but so many at one time. In the middle of, I mean, we all went through COVID together. We all know what that looks like. But
that was a weird time in itself.
Yes, but I think that now that my kids, and I have to toot my own horn here, I may have not got love right or marriage right or all the, some other things right, but raising my kids,
you got that right.
I probably could do a whole podcast on parenting because I think I am. And even the things that I would have done different now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I did it perfect. I'm saying, but I will say that I got really, really, really good kids. Even Kirsten, as my stepdaughter, how I got her and how she is now. I mean, I think she has told me, Dustin's told me, even with Landon, me coming in their life really changed the course of her life. And so I tell y'all this because now that there's this moment that you get when your kids get old enough. And like, I don't ever have to worry if my kids are going to support themselves, if they're going to hold a job. They're not on drugs. None of them, well, Kirsten had her baby when she was 19. My girls have not had babies yet. But even Kirsten at 19, like, she's a wonderful mother.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry if our grandbaby's going to be fed. None of them are financially dependent, which I think speaks volumes.
Yeah, that they're able to pay their own bills.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So now that they're all good, and even though they're still... my 20 and 24-year-old, even my 20, they're young. They're 20. But it's not the same. I don't have to worry. And now I'm going, okay, what do I want to do? What matters to me? And you know what? Like, we still have issues with Dustin's ex or my ex. But guess what?
It's so minor.
I don't have to.
You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to answer the phone no more.
Girls, whatever y'all got with your dad, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm here for you if you want to talk. But I'm more just like an ear now. They are mentally stable enough to decide what relationship they want with their dad, with me, with their aunts and uncles, cousins, whatever. I don't have to, like, parent.
You don't have to be the manager of those relationships.
I'm always going to be their mama.
Sure.
But
you don't have to be the momager.
Actively parent, that's what they call me.
Yeah, of those relationships.
We are kind of like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. A lot of people.
But, I love that. I love being able to guide my girls.
We have our own reality show, for real.
I'm just saying. You kind of do on social media, and I love it. Because, look, when you got the green couch, I was like, is that Adrianne's green couch on that ad? That's Adrianne's fucking couch on that ad.
My couch is cute.
Her living room is on an advertisement.
Joybird.
Joybird, where she got her couch. And I was like, I was scrolling and I go,
you and about 4 million other people, the amount of text messages or messages I've got on that couch.
I was like,
that couch ad.
That's Adrianne's couch. And then people were in there hating on her walls are plain. And I said,
was that what they were
so
saying?
is your dad. And he
goes,
oh girl, I went in there. Go look at what I was saying. People were saying something. I was like,
so
is your dad. No.
First of all, if you walk in my house, there ain't nothing plain about it.
No.
So if you got one angle of a
But that was that time you were literally in the middle of taking everything down.
I sold that one painting.
And putting new stuff up. But I was like.
But I kind of liked it plain.
But they were.
And guess what? It's my house.
Yeah. If I want it plain, I'll have it plain.
What is wrong with the internet?
Yeah, everybody all up in everybody's Kool-Aid.
Did that ad ask you about my wall?
Yeah. What do you think about her walls? Never mind the couch that we're trying to display. What about her bare ass walls in this beautiful home? Does that trigger you? Anyway. So, okay. What has been your biggest badass boss move since reclaiming your story this year? What do you think has been this year? Since this is your glow up year.
Oh, I got nothing, Brandy.
That's okay. We can pass
because I mean, I could, if anything, I'm probably in my soft era, but I've been working on that for 4 years. I've been a lot more.
Well, that is
still,
then that's your
a lot
badass moment right
more-
there
Well, but I'm saying I don't think it's been a moment. I think it's been a collection of moments.
that have led to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've even on social media, I'm a lot quieter, and I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I'll stay there. And I think it's important to pause and recognize that we can't be on all
Sure.
the time, or we don't have to be at a 10. We don't have to be in survival mode all the time.
Sure.
But it also feels weird. So sitting in that still and quiet is a very...
It's a different feel, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you
And
feel
that's
like a
why I
grown up? Because I feel like a grown up right now. All my kids are grown too. I mean, I'm only 39, but I had my kids real young. You know what I mean?
And I feel like I had to grow up so fast.
I feel like all those years I was literally just surviving. I was just moving so quickly.
Yes.
How do I pay the power? How do I get, the field trip money? Or, oh, so-and-so's got to get to band practice. I was moving so quickly. I never took the time to go, who is Brandy and what does Brandy like? So now I feel like a grown up. I don't feel like just a mom anymore. I literally feel like an adult.
You know what? I will say, one glow up moment that I've had this year is I faced, as you know, a betrayal
Yep.
about 4 years ago from my very best friend. And I've always been, so I know I'm probably going to skip ahead of one of your questions.
No, that's okay.
But one of the things that I really pride myself on, and I think is so, so important for people, is to forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really big on, I don't care what you've done. I don't care if you stabbed somebody, poked them in the eye. I'm using your ex, even your ex-husband deserves to be forgiven if he's wants that. Do you know what I mean? You got to want that. But let me tell you something. It starts with forgiving yourself. And that's what's wrong with 90% of people is they won't forgive themselves, so then they can't accept it from other people and they can't give it to other people. But it starts here.
They don't give themselves grace.
I've always been really good at that. I've never been a grudge holder. I'm not a vindictive person. I'll tell you like it is, but I'm not a vindictive, and I'm not a hold those. I really believe that everybody should be forgiven or everybody can restart. But that's what people don't understand about me. We'll use, I hate to say it, but we'll use Landon's mom for an example. She thinks that I am just out to get her or whatever, and she's made some not so great choices, right? So it's not, we can look at a person versus a choice. I'm not ever going to, I'm going to say it straight to anybody's face. This is not a good choice. Even myself. I've had to look at myself and say,
what are you doing?
This is not a good choice. But you know what? You don't have to stay there. And when you change that behavior and you grow into something, then I can also say, you leveled up. Good for you. Good for you for forgiving yourself and making a move. But I could not. And when I went through this betrayal, it's not that I didn't forgive. I was actively forgiving her what I knew best, but I couldn't get closure.
Sure.
Because I think in the back of my mind, I thought we were going to reconcile.
Well, and go back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
And it can never be like that.
Because my problem is I don't give up on people.
Yeah.
So I'm always just waiting in the wing for you to come to your senses. Even Landon's mom, I'm waiting in the wing for her to have this epiphany, and I'm having to learn that, which on the flip side of that, this is where life is so complicated. Wes taught me, I will never forget, remember that little card I told you I'd give him and I'd say, here's our counseling every week, and he would never show up, never show up, never show up. And I was sitting in church, and Elvis had just gone to the mental hospital, and that was a whole thing. So he's a mess, my marriage is a mess, I'm a mess, and I'm literally laying in the floor of the church crying, and people around me are probably like, here's my 3 kids, you know what I mean, like, everybody knows
happening?
Me, and they're like, what is wrong with Adrianne? But that was my pivotal moment, that I cannot control other people. I'm not responsible if Wes doesn't show up for counseling, or Wes doesn't want to work on our marriage, or Wes doesn't whatever. I'm responsible for Adrianne. So I let go of control, or what I think is control of other people, a long time ago. But that hope, especially when you love somebody, that's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
When I love hard. So I think if you were my friend, I'd want to say I was sorry. I would want to fix it. I would want to.
I would not want you to feel like that.
It boggles my brain sometimes that I don't
get that back.
And then let's be real, relationships of all kinds, marriages or friendships, you're not even mourning the loss of the person. I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying that's not part of it. Most of us mourn the rejection.
Yes, because it hurts.
Because when you have self-respect, you go, I don't deserve that. He's not the right one for me. I need more than that. Whatever it is, right? But we can't get there because that you're like, well, why wasn't I good enough? Why doesn't he love me? Why
Yeah.
doesn't he want to fix
What
that?
could I
Why
have
doesn't
done
my
more?
friend want to fix this?
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And somehow I was finally, the other thing is, you know, when they go through hardships and you watch them go through you're like, well, she was in a bad place. This happened to her. I was a stronger person. But I'm really starting. That's the other thing about my healing journey, even with my ex-husbands. Like, and that's what Tegan and I were talking about yesterday. Like, I didn't have time to stop and think about what I deserved or what they did wrong to me. I was almost too busy apologizing, because when you take self-responsibility and self-accountability, it's not firing back what they did wrong. It's going, well, you're right. I probably should have handled that better. I should have done this, or I shouldn't have, whatever. So I was so busy
You were
doing
too busy
that
taking accountability to hold them accountable.
Right.
And you know, it's so wild that you say that, because I literally just told Travis that just last week we were talking about taking accountability, and I said I take so much accountability that I almost forget
I'll
that.
take your accountability too.
Yes.
Oh.
And I go over and I go above and beyond. Like, if I screw up, I want to tell you 15 times, I know I screwed up and I'm so sorry. I'll never fucking do that again. I'm so sorry.
That's me.
Like, I go above and beyond. I go so far that I forget that you've done anything.
Yes,
I forget that you had bad behaviors or bad actions which caused me to behave this way.
Yeah.
Right? I just recognize, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. But let's forget what you did, because I see what I did wrong. Yeah, no, that's exactly.
Never mind that you stole from me, you know, like we had a secretary that embezzled from us, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, my best friend solicited my husband. And
Yeah.
there's things that have happened to me that, well, you know, but the other thing is, there's a little piece of me that's like, I don't like to victimize myself. So
Yeah.
if I say
Don't
that
feel sorry
she
for me.
did that to me, then I'm the victim, and I'm like, no, we just won't talk about it. And then she didn't really do that to me, and she's going to be sorry anyway, and she's going to fix this, and then we can just pretend nothing happened. And I'm not really a pretender, right? I don't consider myself, but I've had to go, no, and you know what? It is okay for me to talk about it.
Yes.
You did betray me. You did solicit my husband. You crossed a boundary with me in my home that I have the right to talk about, because I didn't talk about it.
You did that to me. That was bad behavior. And so growing
up. And then
up,
get mad when I respond.
That you to your bad behavior. You're not supposed to tell anybody.
You go around town and tell everybody a different version, and then when I tell the real version, because like there is a video.
Yeah, there's a
I
whole
have
video
16
on
cameras
this.
in this house.
Well, and you know, just like in my past marriage, I think he almost thought I wasn't going to tell anybody because it would make me look bad. And because the entire time we were married, I would address it right then, and I would never speak about
that? You know, so my husband was so drunk. What happened?
Yeah.
My husband was so drunk, he didn't know. And that was the other thing. I protected my husband in a lot of that too. My husband I say, you know, my husband, he'll tell, I mean, first of all, my husband had a drug problem this is years ago.
Yeah.
Even before we were together. And put himself in rehab, but still struggled with drinking. Now, me personally, in my 12 years, I've only seen him do it 4 times. I mean, so I just tell you, it's not something every weekend. It's not all the time.
Sure.
But these 4 times, when I tell you blackout, like one, I think with Landon, you know, my husband had to cope with a bad marriage, a handicapped child, and the loss of his mom.
Sure.
And
it's a lot.
It was a lot. And
especially for a man who doesn't communicate.
Well, and, you know, I come from a very country club life where my parents, you know, my mom had a glass of wine.
Yeah.
His family had like drugs on the coffee table. You just
Same.
pick one like a candy.
Yep. Same.
I go to my grandma's and there's like Werther's Originals.
And we've got methamphetamines and weed.
Or,
yeah.
You know, Adderall.
We had methamphetamines and weed on our table.
So, you know, that's what I'm saying about Dustin not being we come from very different backgrounds, but very similar styles. What was I telling? Oh, so also through this hurt of my friend, you know, my husband had no idea, never saw her face, didn't even know.
Because he was so out of it.
He was so out of it. Anyway, so my point is, I didn't talk about it for a long time, also because, you know, she had gone through things that...
Sure.
At the end of the day, my family is good. My life
We're fine.
is good.
Right.
All these things. But it hurt nevertheless.
Yeah.
And mourning the loss of a best friend to me is almost as bad as a marriage. You know, our girlfriends are so valuable.
You are married in a sense, because you're married in an intimate way. A friendship like that, it was intimate.
Yeah, I mean, I loved her, and I poured my life into her. And
y'all went through a very dramatic thing together, you know?
and
Yeah.
I didn't. It was tough. I mean, I didn't talk about. I didn't tell not one person for almost a year and a half. Like not one person.
Well, I think you're still in shock too.
Yeah,
that
100%.
that really happened to me.
And and I'm also praying about it, and God's telling you to be still, and then giving her grace and giving him grace. And my husband quit drinking over it. I'll just put it to you like that. I mean,
Yeah.
my husband had no idea he could even get in a boat like that. But I also wanted to protect him, and that's where I was going with this. But what I had to learn, my husband's the one that said, Adrianne, you want to talk about it? Talk about it. I have no shame.
Yeah.
Like, I forgive myself. You forgave me. I've done what I need to do. Like, which I wouldn't even mad at my husband. What she did had nothing to do with my husband.
Sure.
What my husband did was get so drunk, he didn't know what, when, who, where.
He put himself in that position.
Yeah, but he fixed that. I mean, I don't worry about, and in fact, it's probably one of the best things that ever happened in our marriage, because, and that's what I told you, I only have to say it once.
And he
he saw the
recognizes.
video and he said, I don't know that person. I said, yeah,
me neither.
And and he said, well, I can't.
I'm gonna fix that shit.
Well, he said, I can't take back last night, but I make sure that doesn't happen again. He never has.
Yeah.
And but I tell you this because I almost had to give myself permission to feel and talk about Adrianne's feelings. Not worry about Dustin. Not worry about my friend. Not worry about
what others are gonna think about.
They chose that. I can tell you the one person that didn't do a damn thing. I was where I was supposed to be, doing what I was supposed to be doing, completely sober.
Yeah.
Respecting everyone.
Absolutely.
But I'm the one that, and that's kind of been the story. But and I'm always the villain because I'm gonna say,
because you're saying it out loud what happened.
And it's oh my gosh, we didn't know. I didn't know.
No,
you knew.
You knew. And let's just say you didn't know. You put yourself in a position. Let's say you were intoxicated. You put yourself in a position to betray your friend. So that's your accountability.
Yeah.
Take accountability. I'm sorry that I got intoxicated,
that's it.
And I put myself in a position to do that.
I'm sorry.
How?
I'm sorry in a true.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you feel. I hate it whenever they say
I got caught.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry that I did that. Like, that to me is a true meaningful response.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry I got caught.
I'm sorry, yeah. And that's how...
And I'm told I'm crazy and it didn't happen. Like, I'm not watching a video of exactly...
Bitch, I'm looking at it.
Right.
Like, I'm looking right at it. Right. The shit happened. And that's kind of where I was in my past marriage. I will never get in. I'm sorry for all the times he cheated, or with the men and the women, and the physical abuse and the betrayals. And it's
well, and that's what's happened. It's funny because I'm dealing now. My ex-husband decided that one of my daughters might not be his after 17 years.
Oh, my God. All of a sudden.
Which that's not new. I mean, we've known this for about 8 years now. And
yeah.
And I spent all this time going, oh my gosh, first of all, I was mortified.
That he would even say that. That's absolutely not true.
That's not even a possible. He signed a paternity affidavit the day she was born without a DNA test.
Yeah.
You don't do that if you're confused.
Yeah.
So it's not even a possibility. But the point is, and that's a whole nother story, a lie to cover up another lie and blah, 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 blah,
and now
blah,
he can't, now he's got to continue on the lies.
Which is why I left in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is because the habitual lying.
Instability.
But either way, my point is, same thing. What have I done for the last 8 years? Even to my own daughters, I've had to say, that didn't happen. That's not true. Look at the mom that you've had, and I'm over here defending myself as if I haven't bought their cars and put them through college and raised them and been at every competitive cheer and school supplies and medical.
Like you're on trial. Like you did something wrong.
Yes.
And all I've been doing is sitting here paying bills.
This guy doesn't pay child support. He's not coming around. He's lied.
Yeah. So what does he get out of? That's what I don't understand. What do you get out of that?
That's a whole nother day for another story.
Girl, we'll have another podcast on parenting.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Bar Top Confessions of Parenting.
My point is, today, I don't have it. I was actually telling Tegan again yesterday, like, I'm not even mad. I'm not sad. You want to talk about being done?
You're done.
You know what? My girls are old enough to know who the parent that showed up and who isn't. And you know what? Whatever they want to forgive or believe,
I have nothing more to prove.
Are tried and true, which I know they never thought that for 1 second. They know who their dad was for 17 years.
Sure.
Like, it's crazy. It's actually, this is what I said about being on a reality TV show. And then that's the other thing is people don't realize, because I don't go on my Facebook and talk about, believe it or not, and I would. Don't think I won't post it. It's not that. You stay in your lane, I stay in mine. You want to
Sure.
publicly blast? I will publicly rebuttal. That's
Right.
how that works.
But I'm not going to start none. Don't start none. There won't be none.
Right.
I
Start
mean,
none, there won't be none. But-
so getting into the last question before we hit our quick round, what got you into being a home decor queen? Like your house, the entire thing, everything from your patio to your salon, everything. And if you did not know, she actually has her salon that she works on her clients at here at her house. She's got 2 salons. So she's got this one, and then she's got another
we call
salon.
the main salon,
Yeah.
and then we call this the studio.
That's in downtown Burleson,
Yeah.
in the Old Town area. It's actually right. I live in the Old Town area, and it's right down the street from my house. And then she's got her personal salon that she serves her clients on. But literally everything from the top of those, just how you design those stairs to the railing, all the way to your salon, like everything is aesthetically pleasing.
Well, thank
How
you.
did you get into that? Like,
I don't know.
is that just been you? Have
Always.
you always been that way?
You know, I'll never forget. I was actually thinking about this the other day, too. Even down when I had my first little duplex, my ratty little duplex. You know, that was when all that hacienda furniture
Yeah.
was in. And so, you know, I'll never forget my dad walking in. My dad. And he was like, "You're just so good at decorating. Like, you're just so..." And I was like, "Thank you for noticing," you know? But
Yeah.
I don't know. And
That's
it's
just
funny
who
because
you
when I
are.
look at it, I don't see it like that.
You see, oh, I need to move that. Oh, there's a stain over there. Oh, I don't
Well,
like that. That's how I see it at my
to
house.
me, I open Better Homes and Gardens, or I open Instagram, and I'm like,
No, that's your house, though. That's like literally, if you go to her Facebook, just go to her Facebook. That's literally her whole freaking house. She bought this huge thing that she posted a couple months ago from Nebraska, I think. Your humongous
Oh.
couch bed in there in her TV room. And I walked in a second ago and I go, oh my God. The Facebook, the pictures do it no justice. This thing is so massive, but it fits
and
in
it's comfortable. It's
so
awesome.
perfect in there, though. Like, you couldn't have got it any better. It doesn't look out of place. It looks like it's supposed to be there. So
Well, thanks.
that's what I'm saying. Just the
I don't know,
entire
and
thing.
that's what, you know, I actually, it's funny, I got a piece of advice when I was building this house. A lot of people said I couldn't mix metals, or I had too much gold, or I had too much this, or this. And then sometimes it, like, one good thing is very rare can somebody get in my head. If I like it, I like it, and I don't really care what anybody thinks. But I'm human, you know, and I do care what people say or think to a degree. But I had a friend that said, "Adrianne, you wouldn't pick it out if you didn't like it." And I thought, that's such a good...
Yeah.
So you need to just trust your gut. It's like taking a test. When your gut says, "I like it,"
Just do it. Who
you
gives a
know,
shit?
I will say, over the last few years, I am now taking like a day to think about it,
Yeah.
because I am such an impulsive buyer, or
Mhm.
impulsive, that I do. I thought, that's such a good...
Yeah.
So you need to just trust your gut. It's like taking a test. When your gut says, "I like it,"
Just do it. Who
you
gives a
know,
shit?
I will say, over the last few years, I am now taking like a day to think about it,
Yeah.
because I am such an impulsive buyer, or
Mhm.
impulsive, that I do tend to, and especially when you have the financial means to buy things, then I sometimes end up with too much. And so then it's gone overbearing, and I'm like, oh, I got to simplify the picture off the wall.
Yeah. I love your closet clean outs. You do, I mean, you
I need to have
do
another one right
purge.
now. Yes, I do purge, and I can't stand clutter.
So, I mean, so she
I don't do
does
trinkety.
purge, which I need to get on the next, your little purge. You need to text me,
But
Brittany,
I
I'm
like
purging.
to stand out. I don't like my house or my things to look like... I'm not a copycat.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to why I've been successful. Even when I built my wine crawl, my festival, a festival's a dime a dozen. The festival's not the intellect, right? You can go to a million festivals. But when I would go to a festival, I would ask myself, how can I make mine different? What can people do at my festival that they can't do somewhere else? What can make mine go, man, I remember the Burleson Wine Crawl is different than Great Fest.
Which I
You
wish
know?
we still had it. I mean, they have one, but it was not like when you had it.
No, nobody's ever been able to do
No,
that again.
it was not.
But,
So if you didn't
know,
know, she started the Burleson Wine Crawl. She's not going to toot her own horn, but I'll toot it for her.
Thank you.
How many years did you do the wine
10
crawl?
years.
Wow. And when she had it, it was phenomenal.
It was the largest private event in the city's history.
Yeah,
You know,
it was fun.
It was a big deal. But the other thing is, like, and I'll give you an example. I had real glasses in my VIP. I had real glasses everywhere. If you bought a tasting ticket, you got a real glass. Most of them do plastic, and I get it. You don't want to have to clean up the
Sure.
glass and whatever, but that's just, I paid people to do that, and that's what I was telling you about going above and beyond. whether it's your parenting, whether it's your business, whether it's your marriage, when you go above and beyond, the reward is great. And so I always had real glasses, and I'll never forget Kate Granger's son, and I cannot remember his first name. He is Panther Island Pavilion.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, and he called me and he said, why do you use real glasses? And I really think I want to do that for our events. And, you know, it's something that stood out to him that was different. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's not even like, you don't have to have clowns walking around. It's
Sure.
not that, but just, it's in the details.
It's the little details.
You know,
You
yes.
offered real
I'm
glass.
a details person.
wine
so
glasses.
whether it's my decor or whether, I mean, when you see my
She's
holidays,
got bows on her wine glasses sitting
Yeah.
here. So, no, I do
although
love.
my hair doesn't look like it today because I'm telling y'all this, it started pouring down rain before we did
Well,
this.
it was so
humidity,
humid.
Whatever, but usually I'm just very...
That's just
It's
who
in the
you are.
details.
You
That's
are just
probably
a detailed
who I
person,
am as a
all the way
person,
down. You used to wear you're not wearing them right now, but I remember you used to wear these bangles. But
Oh, yeah.
you know which one I'm talking about? They were the gold ones. I loved those, and it was the little things like that I noticed. I was like,
And I do go
want
through
bracelets.
waves with my tie. Like right now,
Like
I'm
you're
in
wearing a gold one. I'm wearing a silver one.
I'm in a simplified. You know, I'm wearing more smaller earrings, less jewelry,
Yeah.
more blacks and neutrals, and then I'll get tired of that because I just came off of my very vibrant, lots of bracelets, dangling earrings, and I just do that. I go through. Now the holidays, I'm usually back to pretty wild.
Yeah.
You know, I love my holiday wear, but
Your gingerbread sweaters
But I
and
think
your
that's what I was saying too about the ebb and flow. Like sometimes you're in survival, and sometimes it's good to be in the desert.
yes.
Sometimes you need to be on top of the mountain. Sometimes you need to be.
Sometimes
in the
you could
desert,
just be
know?
calm.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Okay, so we call this our quick rounds, quick shots. Okay.
I'm gonna try. I talk too
So
much.
no, that's okay. If you could pour a drink for younger Adrianne, what would it be, and what would you say to her as you're giving her that drink? Would you give her a glass of wine and tell her to chill, or would you give her a shot of Jaeger and tell her to party?
Well, I wasn't going with either of those. I was still back to my dirty martini. I just feel like that's my signature drink because
It yells class.
no, opposite. I feel like it's like the dirty martini is the like bad, like just.
I can assure you, I've never made a dirty martini at Cooter Brown's.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
No, hell no. We don't even have martini glasses. What are you talking about?
Well, you gotta get one for me. I'm
I will get you.
dying.
I will get you a martini glass.
No, just meaning like, you know, most people don't drink those. They're too strong.
They are.
Or like, most people don't like olive juice.
It's olive juice and gin or vodka.
But to me, that is like the standout, living on the edge, like doing. And when I say dirty, I'm not saying like doing people dirty. I'm just saying like
You don't have to
live like-
be
you don't have
so
to be
prim and
perfect.
proper.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is funny because it probably is a classy drink.
It is a very classy
But I
drink, and
think
that's
that's
why
just
I'm
who I am
laughing
as a
at you.
person.
I love that. Her old country club. Get a
I'm
martini,
like-
but make it extra dirty. Be a bad girl. Get the
true.
extra olive
It's
brine.
true. That is just my signature.
I love that. Be bad. Get it
I
extra
am
dirty.
definitely on both ends of the spectrum.
I said Jaeger, and she said a dirty martini, please.
I do like
Okay.
some Jaeger though.
Girl. bleh.
What?
But I told you I'm a pussy though. I don't drink. Like, look, when we go out, and of course everybody wants to. Oh, she's that tatted bartender. I want to buy her a shot, and I'm like, half a shot of Malibu and put a splash of pineapple in it, please. Like, I am the biggest wiener. I don't drink either. Okay, pour or pass. Social media drama. Will you pass on it, or will you go ahead and pour on into
Oh,
it if you
pour
need to?
into it.
Hell yeah. One piece of
But you don't want none, don't bring none. But
you
if
don't
bring
want
I'm
it, don't
coming.
bring it.
And don't bring a knife to a gun battle.
Okay, because she will. Albertsons, bitch. She will.
I'm going for the jugular.
She will come for you, and she don't
And
go to
one thing about
Albertsons.
me, I'm coming with the facts. I'm coming with
She's
the black
coming with the
and white.
receipts.
Yes,
Even of her 360, of her life 360.
100%.
That shit was so funny.
100%.
One piece of advice that you'd give a woman who's rebuilding after a heartbreak. Just one piece
Well,
of
that's
advice.
where I was going with the forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself. Give yourself
You
grace.
know, I don't care. Go stand in your closet. Go stand out in the back patio.
Be
Scream-
okay with
and
it.
you need to say it out loud. I don't care what it is. I mean, when I was 21, I slept with my best friend's husband, you know, and
Yeah.
that was probably one of the most, to this day, I've forgiven myself, but it's something I will never forget. It's not who I am. I learned a very valuable lesson, which was I was in a very, 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 very bad place in my life. It was not good.
Yeah. I bet you had to forgive yourself because it would have ate you up.
And let me tell you, she forgave me long before I forgave myself.
But I think that just speaks of who you are. It
But
hurts you.
But I tell
that you hurt her.
that you just need to say it out loud. Whatever your deep, dark secret and your demon and you think people have over you, people don't have anything over you when you will say it to their face.
Right.
What are you going to say about me?
What are you going to say? That's,
and that's what people are ate up with me. They can't surprise you with how these deep, dark secrets I have because, well, you want to know. I'm going to tell you everything.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. And
if you don't know anything about me, I don't know about myself.
I always tell my daughters, do not say something about somebody unless you're willing to say it to their face. Mm-hmm. Because they very well may come back to you. And I tell Journey that all the time, especially being in the bar scene. You know what I mean? Dive bar drama. It's literally like high school with old fuckers. Like, I'm not even kidding you.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh, God. And so you cannot
because
say
believe
something.
It or not, I used to hang out in the bar a lot with Wine Crawl because that's how we did with our sponsors. And that's what I'm saying. It's funny because I've lived a lot, but then I go out and stuff like that, and I'm like,
I cannot believe it. Yes.
And not because I'm judging. I'm probably the most opinionated, non-judgmental person you'll ever meet in your life. I just...
You just can't believe that's real life, not just TV.
And Dustin will tell me things even from his childhood. I'm like...
Oh, girl. Yes. Oh, girl. But yeah...
I didn't realize what a prude and sheltered I actually am.
I love that, though. But you know what? We need people like you in this world, though. Because that means you don't have an ugly past, so you don't know.
I don't know about that. I think I still have one of those, but maybe
but it's not nasty.
As,
it's not toxic and nasty. Like for me, I've been married. I've been married 2 times, but divorced 3 times. That's a whole different story. I had to divorce somebody I wasn't legally married to. That was fun, and so I
can't believe I didn't have to.
And then I worked in the prison system. I was a correctional officer for 8 years.
Oh, see, I would have loved that.
I lived in Huntsville, and I worked for Ellis Unit 1. But
let me tell you something. I could have probably it's probably good I didn't because I'm one of those. I probably could have in my next life I could be Queen of the South. I'm not even joking. That's the side of it people don't understand.
You have it in you, but it's still
a little ratchet.
But we need people like you that don't know how how vindictive people can be, but you still have that shock value. Like, oh my God, they really did that.
Yeah.
And we need people like you in that world where I don't have that. I'm like, yeah, they're a piece of shit. Of course they did that. It doesn't shock me.
I'm the one constantly forgiving those people and having hope for those people. And
I'm holding, and nope, I have grudges. I'm like, you're a piece of shit. Shut up and die. Like, I am horrible. But we need people like you because of people like me. Like, that's something I've recognized in myself that I have to genuinely work at, not to hold grudges.
Yeah.
Because you burn me once, bitch, I will heal in hell.
And I'm working on having a little bit more. That goes back to what I was saying. Even when our secretary embezzled from us, I didn't even I called the police. They came out here. I've got it on video. I've got everything. And I never did anything.
Girl.
I just give a lot to God. And that's what I think people really, they think I'm this ruthless bitch, and I can be. But
not as much as you could be.
Nobody serves justice better than the Lord.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
many times I'm like,
let him have his karma.
That's going to hurt. But I have, God has been so gracious to me that I want to give that to others.
See, you're aggressive in a different way. We're both aggressive with our personalities. You're aggressive as far as I'm a go-getter, and I'm aggressive as I'm going to rip your face off if you fucking say that again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's funny, Brandon. I used to be more like that.
I've got to, I swear, I pray to get over it.
I honestly can't believe I didn't get in more fist fight. I was not...
My last marriage humbled me a lot because, and that's what I said in my previous podcast, I literally had to get my ass beat the way that I did to humble me.
Yeah.
Because I was such a bully. I was rude. I was mean. I was a jerk. I had to go through this traumatic experience to humble my soul. To give myself the bigger picture so that I could recognize.
And I don't know, it's funny. I don't know. I take that back. I don't know that I was ever a bully or anything like that. It's funny, people will call me that. People say that about me right now, that I'm a bully. I think I have really good boundaries, and I am not afraid to...
You've had self-respect.
Yes.
Whereas people like me...
I really call it self-respect.
I didn't respect myself, so I didn't have boundaries.
I think if anything, I was more of a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
And so I wore this armor.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been a very misunderstood person, so I come out with this, the resting bitch face or the armor, or people think I'm not approachable, or they think in fact, people say I'm intimidating,
mm-hmm.
And I understand why they say that, but in my heart, I don't. That's where I feel so misunderstood.
Well, and I could see that too, because I can talk to you, but I can see also.
Oh, anybody.
How somebody would say you're
when
intimidating.
When somebody sits down and they're like, you're nothing like I thought. And I'm like, I had $1
for every time somebody's told me that.
because I think
Yeah.
once people really talk to me, they go, "Oh man, she really is like very loving and very, open-minded."
But you're
and very
so shiny.
non-judgmental."
But I think what makes you so intimidating, Adrienne, is because for one, you're so shiny. If that makes any sense, you're shiny, and the fact that you're so put together, you look so put together
You
and
think
so
so?
collected. Oh, absolutely, you
'Cause
look
I
so
feel like
put
I'm
together.
channeling my inner, what's her name, Pamela Anderson.
Mm-mm.
I'm wearing less and less makeup, except her bangs. I refuse to cut my bangs
No,
like that.
but I'm saying like just your life though, from the outside looking in, somebody who doesn't know you,
Really?
you look so put together. You
'Cause
look
I feel
like you
I
have,
talk about my shortcomings.
but you do, but you still look like you have it all together until somebody actually sits down and actually initiates a conversation.
Oh, well, just come get your hair done. I
They
cry like
won't-
every third appointment.
They won't know that though about you. If they're just reading you from a
Oh,
book on
that's
social
hilarious.
media, you look so pristine and so put together. And then when
I'm
you
gonna
come
have to
to
work
the
on that because
well, and then when you come to the salon, you're like, oh no, this bitch just told her dog to get out, and she's got some chickens over here escaping, and she's got. I mean, but people don't realize that about you, and that's why I wanted to have
believe
this.
it or not, I really work at my social media. I mean, look, this is what we know.
You
about
don't do
social
any.
media.
You don't do anything. You are representing who you are, but that's just who Adrienne is. You are just a clean
maybe.
person. You don't have dirt on your hands. Like you
I mean,
don't
I will say
have.
that I work really hard at not try. I try not to do people dirty. I try not
Right.
to have things. And now again, there's a handful of people that think I'm this,
Whereas
that, or the other. And
you look at me, I'm covered in tattoos, although they are good tattoos.
hey, I have 4
You
tattoos.
got, yeah, I know. Look, I saw one the
I
other
have
day.
had
The
them
last time you
lasered
were,
14 times. I hate tattoos.
I know the other.
I don't hate that. You can have tattoos.
Yes,
I don't.
You just don't want
tattoos.
to. But that's what I'm saying.
And
for
I'm not
you,
even saying I wouldn't have tattoos now, had I not got them. I was 15.
yeah, you were
But because
wild,
I've gone through all
Adrienne.
that, and that's what I'm telling you.
But
There's a whole teenager, 20-year-old. That's,
so for me, I work in a bar. I cuss. I'm loud. I have all these tattoos. You know what I
F word
mean?
is my favorite word.
Whereas you have the beautiful Chanel glasses. You've got the beautiful hair. Your
cracking
eye.
me up,
But that's
Brandy.
what people see, though. You know what I mean? They see this beautiful, perfectly put
But
together
it's how you
Adrienne.
see my decor too, and see like me,
Yes.
I'm just me.
But when you get to sit down in Adrienne's chair, you find out she's cussing folks out that got her DoorDash wrong. She's not cussing the DoorDasher out. She's like, "What the fuck? That's not what I wanted." Or this matcha's wrong. And then she put the whole city of Burleson on a matcha kick for like 4 months.
That's true.
And then so they don't get to know. And that's why I'm so happy that you sat down with me, because people get to see. Adrienne cusses. Adrienne's had, some fucked up things. She's done fucked up things, but then she's also done really amazing things that she won't toot her own horn about all the time.
Well, thank you, Brandy. You're
And
such
so,
a hype girl.
Girl, look, I
You
am.
are.
I am that cheerleader girl. I'm a girl's girl.
And I used to be more like that, I think. And it's not because I don't want to be now. I think I'm just right now working on it.
You're being your own hype girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last one on this one before we get into our shot of truth. What do you want your legacy to taste like? Do you want it to be sweet, salty, spicy, or strong? If somebody talked about Adrianne Argumaniz 50 years from now, what do you want that to be? What taste do you want that?
Strong.
Strong?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You don't want to be
You're
watered
not going to
down.
forget it.
You're 100 proof.
100%.
Hell yeah.
Take that gin martini and take out the olive
Yeah,
juice.
she don't want it extra dirty then. Okay, so that is that for the bar top confession portion, and this is our shot of truth. We're not shooting because Adrienne and I, we're both pussies and we don't shoot. So,
Right.
so we'll have our little wine spritzer.
Here.
Salud. This is our shot of truth for this episode. And finish this sentence. I used to think I was broken, but now I know that I am.
Amazing.
Hell yeah. If healing had a flavor, what would yours be? And why?
Shit.
Would it be extra dirty gin
Sardines.
martinis? Sardines!
I still
Would it
love them.
be
I love a sardine on a pretzel with some mustard,
but
but it was an acquired taste.
Yeah. That's a
I do
good.
love healing,
My
but, man,
healing
it's
has
a
been an
messy
acquired
process.
taste.
Yeah.
I love that.
I thought that's pretty good.
That is a good one. I
Okay.
wouldn't have thought that. What is one thing you're still healing from right now? Look at that dog. I wish y'all could see that dog. He's literally knocking on the door right now. How cute.
I would say it's what people have, going back to what you said a minute ago, like, it's funny that you see me this one way because, and I need to get better at focusing on that because I've allowed these 4 or 5 people to tell me I'm a bully or I'm I'm too much, or I'm too hard, or I'm too this. And the truth is, maybe I
Is
am,
a win too much?
but I'm okay with that. But that was never my intention. I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be too hard. I want people to know that I forgive them with changed behavior. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know that what they're calling me a bully is because I've said, you cannot steal from me. You cannot hurt my children. You cannot
cross my boundary.
Or you cannot cross my boundary.
And I'm not okay with you pissing all over
again,
it.
that goes back to when you are truly a personal accountability person, you've got to assess that. And especially when you have 3, 4, 5 people saying the same thing, you go, whoa, which of course all your previous employees or all your previous, when they don't get their way,
when they don't get their way, they're going to say ugly shit about you, of course.
But, you know, I had
it fits their narrative.
I had to, but I have a billion people over here going, you're amazing and you're so giving and you're so this and you're, you know, I have a million employees that are still my very good friends and clients, but I'm going to worry about this too.
Yeah, that said something ugly about you. I'm the same way though.
So I'm having to, I can't remember exactly what the question was, you know.
What's one thing you're still healing over?
I'm healing over those negative things that have been said.
To get past them.
So that I can go back to my social media and speak my truth and help the women that truly value that side of me and not let the 2 or 3 but that's
bitches,
what the devil
you
wants,
can say it.
Right?
The 2
that's
or 3
what the devil
bitches.
Wants is to dim my light. And he did for a minute. But that's what God does. He puts us in the desert, in the wilderness, to restore us back to our mission and our purpose under him, not what the devil tries to say.
Right. And so you're just in your desert phase right now. Yeah. And you can sit there as long as you need to.
Mm-hmm. And I like it. I like camping.
Hell yeah. Me too. Me too.
I love the outdoor camping.
Where can people find you, follow you, and support all your killer magic?
Everything's under my name.
Adrianne Argumaniz.
Adrianne
and I will tag her in all this.
Instagram, Facebook.
All the things.
I have TikTok. Those are some ruthless.
God, TikTok is ruthless over there. Look, I had to put filter words on mine. I'm like, you ain't catching me, bitch. I'll delete your shit real quick.
I'm just getting too old for that.
And what is the name of your main salon in case anybody ever wants to go see any of your girls over there?
The Ritz Salon and Spa in Burleson.
Thanks,
Brandy.
Of course. Any final words for our listeners who feel like they're too messy, too behind, or too broken to rise?
Never, ever.
You're never too far behind.
It's always good to self-reflect. It's always good to put in steps to heal, be better than you were yesterday. Don't compete with anybody, only yourself. You know, it's always, and I do think those people, like I've said several times, anybody that's self-reflecting, you're on a harder journey because we're hardest on ourselves, right? But that's why the forgiveness is so important. But if you really view everything in your life, nothing is in vain. God gave you a kingdom purpose. And in fact, if you go back and look at everybody with purpose in the Bible, they've all gone through what you're going through or worse.
Yeah.
And those are the people with stories. And those are the people of redemption. And those are the people that have utilized it to further the kingdom. The person that has no story, the person that has no mess, do you even remember them?
No, they're not rememberable. And how are you going to learn anybody who hasn't tripped and fallen? You know, and if
I hate to say it, but we are stiff-necked people. We are stubborn. We are dumb. We have to trip to go, oh,
that hurt. Let me tell you how bad that hurt. I shouldn't have done that. No, absolutely.
And sometimes those things happen to us even, like, we're not the one that tripped. Somebody tripped us.
Right.
But how are you going to learn to nurse somebody else if you didn't learn to nurse yourself?
Yeah, if you didn't learn how to fix it yourself. Yeah. So that's another round of Bar Top Therapy. Adrianne, again, thank you so much for spilling your soul, sharing Argumany Acres with us. Thank you for letting us be out here because it was so beautiful.
Thanks for putting up with the wind and the...
No.
You know, well, I mean, then, like, it might be kind of, you know, but the background was beautiful.
The background is beautiful. You know? But thank you also for just spilling your soul with us and reminding us that we can all rise from literally anything. We can rise from 5 marriages. We can do career changes in the middle of it. We can raise kids with parents who aren't the best co-parents.
We're going to have to do a parenting episode.
Oh, absolutely. But you do prove that you can look pristine on the outside. And baby, I got some dirt back here. I got a real dirty ass gin martini. So y'all, the dirtier the better.
Blue cheese, olives.
Y'all be sure to follow her on all of her socials and share this episode with someone who may need to be reminded of their pain and that they can still turn their pain into power.
And if you ever need a friend or message, you know,
message
either one of us, really.
Yeah, seriously, I answer messages all day and all night. So absolutely. Same. So until next time, protect your peace. Love your journey.
Protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
Sometimes more is necessary, but it always brings peace.
And tip your damn bartender. Cheers. Bar Top Therapy is a Tatted Bartender & Co. production. This episode is proudly supported by Fireworks Universe in Alvarado, Texas. Family owned, real tested, and lighting up the Texas sky without any gimmicks. And by Phoenix Rising Skincare, all natural and handmade in Burleson, Texas, for skin that survived and still shines. Bar Top Therapy, where healing meets the bar stool.